Hi everyone, it's Kelly from Tutor Hustle for Teachers, and I'm here today to talk about one of my favorite things that has to do with tutoring. It is group tutoring, and I'm so excited to talk about group tutoring because I could talk about it forever. Group tutoring has been like the backbone of my tutoring business, which is still fairly young. Just coming up on 2 years old, and I've been doing group tutoring since the beginning. And I'm so happy that I have because it's really contributed a lot to my business. It's helped me grow, it's helped me scale, and it's helped me learn, and it's helped me serve more students, which is fantastic. So if you don't do group tutoring, I highly encourage you to give it a try. And I know a lot of you have tried to give it a try and it's not working out. So I thought I'd make a video today about the top 3 mistakes that I hear about people making when they try to move into group tutoring so that you can avoid these mistakes in your groups. Now, mistake number one that people are making is that they're trying to get their current one-to-one students into groups. Now, I've heard other tutor coaches and gurus and tutors and people like that out there give you the advice to actually do that, to move your one-to-one students into groups so that you can scale your business and that you'll maybe only tutor groups. Or if you tutor one-to-one, the price will be like super, super high. Now, you can, everyone has their own path. So if that's the advice that you're getting and that works for you, then go for it. But I personally don't, that advice doesn't sit that well with me, actually. And that's not how I have grown my own business. So personally, what I would advise you to do, and I know this is not I know this is not the general advice. So this is just coming from me. You can take this advice or not. It's up to you because there's many different messages that you're going to hear out there on YouTube. But my personal advice to you on this would be don't try to move your one-to-one students into groups, number one. And number two, the second part of that is that it is okay to have one-to-one students and to have groups. It is okay to do both. I do both, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love having one-to-one students and I love having groups. So for me, it is the best of both worlds. Now, why do you not want to move your one-to-one students into groups? Your one-to-one students probably don't want to move into a group. They're probably happy working with you one-to-one. That's why they signed up for that service, and that's what they want. I know that most of my one-to-one students don't want to join a group. They want to work with me one-to-one, and that's what they asked for. That's what they signed up for. They were offered the option to join a group when they first signed up because I send people my website and I say these are the programs so they can look at that web page themselves and see what's offered. And when they looked at all of those offerings, they chose one-to-one because that's what they want. So probably your one-to-ones don't want to be in a group. So I would advise that you keep them as one-to-one students because they're happy working with you one-to-one. And if you're happy working with them, why would you change it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So that's mistake number one is trying to move your one-to-one students into groups. I would advise not to do that. And actually, you have a great opportunity here because when you advertise your groups and you start a new group, you have the opportunity to meet new students and work with new families. So don't worry about changing things with your existing families. Don't worry about moving your one-to-ones into groups. It's okay if they don't want to go into groups. It's okay if you keep working with them one-to-one. This is an opportunity for you to work with some new people, some new students, some new families, and form some new relationships through your new group. So embrace this opportunity to grow your business and work with some new people and get your name out there even more, get even more referrals, get even more known in your tutoring community where you tutor. This is a great opportunity. So don't try to move your one-to-ones into groups because they don't want to move into groups and you don't want to miss the opportunity to work with the new people who do want to move into groups. So that's mistake number one. Now, mistake number two is being too general with your group, saying, okay, I just want to do group tutoring. I want to tutor in groups. You have to be a little more specific than that. So generally with my one-to-one students, I have sort of like a learning path for them. And it's highly individualized because we're working one-to-one. So I can make that path very specific to that one single student. You can't apply that same thinking to a group necessarily because you're working with more than one student. So it's going to be a little bit tougher to individualize the program. It's not impossible. You can do it. And there are ways to structure your group so that you are doing exactly that. The group that I'm running currently is kind of along those lines where I have a group of students, but I do individualize the program for each student. So they are kind of working at different levels, but they're working in a group. So it is possible. You can do it. It's not going to be as intense as it is with your one-to-ones, but it's a possibility. And that is one way of doing a group. And I talk about this in group tutoring boot camp, which I'm going to talk about at the end too. There's different structures to groups and different ways to do it. So you can set out to say that you're going to do group tutoring and you're going to individualize the program for each student. That's one way of doing it. But an easier way of doing it, I find, and a much more effective way to market your group actually is if you set the learning path for the entire group so that you're focusing on one single outcome or one single skill that the entire group is going to learn in a certain span of time. So whether it is 4 weeks or 10 weeks or 6 weeks or however long you want your group to run. So it's more like a course, actually. It's more like a course. So let's say you are teaching reading. Okay, that's what I teach. So I'll give you that example because it's pretty easy for me. So let's say you're teaching reading. My very first group that I started with was designed for early readers, and they are all learning their letters and their letter sounds and their CVC words. So they're all kind of at the same stage. So it was very easy to design a course for them where that's exactly what they would learn. As I advertise the course, I can say, this is what we're going to be learning. We're going to be learning letters and sounds. We're going to be learning consonant, vowel, consonant words. We're going to be learning how to read short books with consonant, vowel, consonant words. And, these are the learning outcomes, and everybody is going to have the same learning outcome. And we're going to work at this for the next 6 weeks. And, everybody's going to end up with the same, accomplishing the same goal. So it's a course built around similar skills that everyone is going to learn. So rather than trying to individualize the program, which, to be honest with you, is a bit trickier, and it's also a bit trickier when it comes to marketing, I find, set a course where you're going to be teaching a specific skill and advertise it as a course that's going to span a certain amount of weeks. And in that time span, you're going to learn these certain skills. So think about it. You can get really creative with this. You can do this with math, multiplication boot camp. I mean, that's like the most popular math group tutoring course out there, right? There's multiplication boot camp. There's number sense boot camp if you wanted to work with smaller kids. There's test prep. Like if your students are preparing for a certain test, you can run a test prep course. You can do an early reading course, like I just mentioned. You can do a more advanced reading course that's working on different skills that a more advanced reader would be working on. So really, the sky's the limit. Whatever your specialty is and whatever you like to tutor, you can be really creative with this and use your imagination and design a course around what you want to teach. And then you can advertise that and have people join your group. And there you go. You have your little course, you have your group tutoring. This, I find, is the easiest way of doing it, being very specific with skills that the entire group is going to learn and keeping it to a certain time range, whether it's 6 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever. And within that time range, you're going to teach those skills. And that way you're attracting new families, new people that want to learn those skills. They're going to get to know you. And, many of them are going to become one-to-one students. That's what happened to me. Almost like all of my one-to-one students started out as group tutoring students, especially in the early stages of my business. So there's ways that that group will kind of grow and expand. You can move on to the next phase once your time is up with the group. People will move to one-to-one. There's all kinds of different things that will happen, but that's a really good place to start, is just by designing a very specific course for your learners and, targeting a specific learner and marketing the course to them. So the third mistake that I see people making when they go into group tutoring is that they don't have a plan. And when you're tutoring groups, you really, really have to have a plan, because I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, it is a lot more difficult to manage a group of students and a group of families than it is to manage one. Okay, it's a lot more difficult. So you really need a plan. Where are you going to meet? When are you going to meet? What are you going to do if someone has to be away? You have to think about all of these things and really plan them out and be very clear about your expectations to the families when they join your group. And that brings me to the group tutoring bootcamp. So if you want to learn about all the specific details, all the logistics, all the really nitty-gritty little stuff of tutoring groups, then Group Tutoring Bootcamp is a great opportunity for you, because there I'm going to teach you everything that I have learned about tutoring groups over the past 2 years, so that you can have all the detailed information that you need to get really creative and start your own group and scale your business through group tutoring. Good news is Group Tutoring Bootcamp is a mini course, so it doesn't take you that long to complete. And the price is really mini too. It's only $35 Canadian, which is like $26 US, depending on exchange rates. So it's a great opportunity to learn how to tutor groups and to learn how to scale your business. Group tutoring is probably the easiest way to scale a tutoring business. So if you're not tutoring groups right now, I suggest you go for it. And if you've tried to tutor groups and you haven't had much luck with it, I hope this video really helps, so that you don't fall into those same traps and make those same group tutoring mistakes. And you can have fun with your groups, grow your groups, scale your business. It's a great opportunity, and I'm so excited for you. Please let me know in the comments what's going on with your groups. What groups do you tutor? What have been your successes with group tutoring? What would you like to learn more about? Tell me in the comments. I would love to hear about it. And thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to learn more about some tutoring tips, please subscribe for more information. And join the Tutor Hustle for Teachers Facebook group. We would love to see you there. Bye, everyone.